surgery and begin to stop the onset of arthritis. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and here we've made pain treatment as easy and affordable as it can be.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Brewers beat the Nationals last night, winning 16-9. And the Brew Crew continue their series in the nation's capital today at 3:05. Our coverage for today's game starts at 2 o'clock right after the news with Brewers warm-up right here on 620 WTMJ. And time for take a look at your roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. We've got 3 incidents on the road. I-94 West at 68th and 70th Street. The left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. Then over on, we've got a disabled vehicle on the exit to Car Ferry Drive from I-794 East. And our final incident is a crash on the exit to Lane Avenue from I-94 South at the Collector. So be sure to keep an eye on that when you're on the roads.
Traffic is sponsored by Angela Calais and Benefit Realty.
At Benefit Realty, pay only 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission and get all the service that you should. Benefit Realty, you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight's going to be mainly clear with some patchy smoke and a low of 61 degrees. Sunday, mostly cloudy with some patchy smoke possible and a high of 80 degrees. Monday's going to be mostly sunny with a high of 81 degrees. Tuesday will be partly cloudy, with a slight chance of a shower and a high of 82 degrees. And Wednesday will be partly cloudy and more humid, with a slight chance of a thunderstorm and a high of 85 degrees. Right now, in Madison, it's 75. In Green Bay, it's 78. In Waukesha, it's 78. And right here in Milwaukee, it's currently 74 degrees. I'm Sean Brinda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 2:07.
This is Brewers Warm-Up with Dominic Cotroneo. Your lineups, manager insights, and a preview of tonight's game right now. This is Brewers Warm-Up. Here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Alrighty, let's get her going again, shall we? The Brewers looking for a series victory in our nation's capital. Brewers and Nationals coming up here in just under an hour's time. Big day with the bats yesterday for the Brewers. We'll talk a little bit about the offense and, of course, about Andrew Vaughn. He has been the story of the baseball world as of late. The Brewers win yesterday 16-9, and quite frankly, it wasn't even that close. The Brewers, they were up 16-4 entering the 9th inning. Today, Brandon Woodruff gets the ball for the Crew. He's 2-0, a 2.01 ERA, up against the right-hander Jake Irvin, who the Brewers just saw in that final homestand of the first half. Irvin is 8-5, a 4.69 ERA. We are going to the bottom of the hour here on Brewers Warm-Up. Then it'll be the On Deck Show, built by Menards, coming up right after that. Lane Grindle and Josh Maurer on the call. But first, a quick happy birthday shout-out to our own Jeff Levering. He's over on the television side today. Jeff doesn't look a day over 21. Anyway, Jeff, happy birthday to you, my friend. As the Brewers get ready to give you a win on your birthday, hopefully. They were also in Washington this same weekend a season ago. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the starting lineups, starting with the visiting Milwaukee Brewers and Pocket Pancake Pat Murphy. They're 65-44, entering today still with the best record in baseball. Sal Frelick leads things off. Back in the order today, Sal is in right field. William Contreras behind the plate today. William was DHing yesterday, had 5 hits. What a day for him. William will hit second. Andrew Vaughn slides up to the third spot in the order today, facing a righty on the mound. Vaughn is playing first base. Christian Yelich back in his familiar designated hitter role. Yelly batting fourth. Isaac Collins is back in the order. He also had yesterday off. Collins is in left, the switch hitter. The sixth spot is another switch hitter and a former Nationals draft pick, Blake Perkins. He is in center field, his first career 2-homer game yesterday. Bryce Terang also enjoyed yesterday, day off. He is at second base and batting seventh. Anthony Siegler will get the start at third. We'll talk a little bit about Anthony coming up later on in the program. Anthony hits eighth. And then finally, Joey Ortiz, the shortstop, plays again. He had another nice game yesterday. Joey is the shortstop, batting ninth. One more time for the Crew. Frelick, Contreras, Vaughn in the top third. The middle third is Yelich, Collins, and Perkins. And the bottom third is Terang, Siegler, and Ortiz. For the Washington Nationals, they go like this. They are 44-65, a mirror image of the Brewers' record. And they lead things off with C.J. Abrams, talented shortstop. Made a couple of errors yesterday, though, to lead things off. James Wood, home run derby participant, is the left fielder hitting second. Luis Garcia Jr., he's got some serious bat-the-ball skills. The second baseman bats third. Josh Bell, Brewers have seen plenty of him over the years. Bell is a designated hitter hitting cleanup. Nathaniel Lowe slides to the 5 spot again. Lowe is at first base. Brady House has really turned it on since he faced the Brewers back in American Family Field. He's at third base. The 7th spot belongs to Dalen Lyle. He is in right. Riley Adams behind the plate once again. And then the 9th hitter is Robert Hassel III, who was part of that Juan Soto trade, along with C.J. Abrams and James Wood. He is in center field, batting 9th for the Nats. Again, Abrams, Wood, Garcia, the top. The middle has Bell, Lowe, and House. And the bottom is Lyle, Adams, and Hassel for interim manager Miguel Cairo. The Brewers handing the ball to Big Woo. Let's talk a little bit more about Big Woo coming up on the other side of the break right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 16 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
They'd found a quaint little home, a stone's throw away from the park. The landscaping was well kept, and the inside was clean as a whistle. But it was outdated, and being that this was their first home, they didn't have a lot of extra cash to do a big remodeling job. You see, the home's living room had a wall of mirrors. He wanted to keep them up, but she was unsure. I told her how beveling the edges of the mirrors would add a hint of elegance, while keeping the spacious look that the mirrors provided. And I asked her to visit our showroom, so I could show her exactly what I meant. Turns out she loved the look, and now, even with the new remodeling job they're doing, the beveled mirrors are there to stay. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service, and glass and mirrors have been our business for over 35 years. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
WTMJ's Brandon Snide for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Are you ready for another great ride? Wisconsin Harley-Davidson has you covered. Join them this Saturday for the 28th annual Waukesha Sheriff's K9 Ride. Take a great ride courtesy of the Sheriff's Department with your final destination being at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Enjoy music from the Potentials, the K9 demo, food, and so much more. A great day supporting our law enforcement. All info can be found at WISHD.com or find them on Facebook under their events. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
Now, more of Brewers Warm-Up on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Brewers Warm-Up going till the bottom of the hour here on 620 WTMJ. The Brewers handing the ball to Big Woo, a perfect 4-0 when he pitches in the game. His opponents, though, the Brewers are monitoring. He's faced now the Nationals for a second time. He's faced the Marlins twice. And he's also faced the Mariners once. Now, his last time against the Nats, his pitch count got up fast. He did not get out of the 5th inning. In fact, it's his only start that he hasn't completed 6 innings this year. But the good news is he still struck out 10 in that game. He threw 81 pitches, not getting out of the 5th inning, partially because those first 4 frames, he went 18, 20, 20, and 16 for his pitch counts in the frame while racking up all the strikeouts that he would. He is in the top 5, or top 3, I should say, for all-time double-digit strikeout games in Brewers franchise history. And, you know, it's going to be hard for him to try to get to that number by the end of this season if he's a free agent to be, given what we assume with the mutual option that looms over Brandon Woodruff for next season. But Corbin Burnes still holds that record for the most 10 strikeout games in franchise history with 23. Woody has got 20. So then it goes Giovanni Gallardo with 18, Teddy Higuera with 16, and Ben Sheets with 15. Freddie right behind it with 14 on chasing down Ben Sheets. But for Big Woo, I was looking into some of the numbers here today, and one of the things that I found fascinating was the fastball. And we've talked about the lack of velocity or the smaller number than we're used to seeing, 96s, 97s, 98s from Brandon Woodruff. Now we're seeing 92s, 93s, 94s from Brandon Woodruff. The fastball is still a super effective pitch for him because of the way he's using it. Now, he's using the fastball overall less than he ever has. Now, if you include the sinker, it becomes back to those normal rates. He's normally a 50-ish% fastball guy, but that was heavily influenced by four-seamers. Now he's perfectly even of the types of fastballs he's throwing. You know, some people debate whether or not a cutter should be considered a fastball. I think it's in the name. It's called a cut fastball. He hasn't thrown very many cutters this season, but it's been a new wrinkle that he likes to throw at you. So when you look at pitch groups, right, there's three types of pitch groups. You got fastballs, which would feature four-seamers, sinkers, and cutters. You've got off-speed, which is like your non-spin-based pitches, your change-ups, your splitters, and that sort of thing. And then you have your breaking balls. Those are your sliders. Those are your sweepers. Those are your curveballs, okay? These are all grouped together. This season, Brandon Woodruff has still thrown 76% fastballs. So that's, again, four-seamers, sinkers, and cutters. That is still the highest rate of his career, despite not throwing it harder than he ever has. And then it gets better. Thus, with two strikes, he's using the fastball more than ever. 72% with two strikes, he throws a type of fastball. And the best part of all of this, opponents are hitting .094 on those fastballs when the count has two strikes in it. 24 of his 29 strikeouts have come on either a four-seamer, a sinker, or a cutter. So I think we were all really worried about what would lack of velo Brandon Woodruff look like, and he's immediately calmed those waters by reminding folks, my fastball has elite carry, I have elite command, and I understand how to push and pull and change speeds and keep guys off balance, because he hasn't relied on the changeup all that much this season, but yet he's only allowed one hit on it, 1 for 13 against him. He's virtually scrapped his curveball. He still has that slider, that sweeping slider, if you will. It automatically registers as a sweeper. It's really a slider. Nonetheless, he hasn't quite found the proper grip with that, because that's the kind of the missing link right now. So using the cutter to keep guys off of it, and to use the sinkers to keep guys off of the four-seamer, and then, oh, by the way, here's a changeup to the lefty that's looking for something over the middle of the plate. It's how you pitch, man. And this is where the Brewers step in, and I commend the Brewers franchise and what they do in a pitching development side. We talk about, the pitching lab, that's why they're so good at it. Well, they don't just teach you how to throw. They don't just teach you how to throw a singular nasty pitch. They teach you how to incorporate an arsenal. They teach you how to pitch to your spots, pitch setting up hitters, using counts to your advantage. You know, we talked to Quinn Priester about that, learning from Brandon Woodruff. Jacob Mizorowski has talked about that, learning from Brandon Woodruff. You hear a little bit of Miz coming up before his next start this week. But for the Brewers, this is something that they understand how to coach fastballs, how to mix and match and sink and cut and keep guys off the barrel. Because the beauty of having command of your fastball, there's a reason why the heater is the first finger. You know, when you're thinking about the signs, first pitch, fastball. You know why it's number one? Because it's the pitch you're supposed to use the most. And Brandon Woodruff is the guy that is doing that for the Brewers. Doesn't matter if you throw 92. If you're dotting it on the corners, keeping guys uncomfortable, you're going to have a lot of success in the big leagues. So that's a little Brandon Woodruff talk. Let's talk a little offense, right? William Contreras, a huge day yesterday. How about Andrew Vaughn continuing to do what he does? And why is Anthony Siegler in the lineup today? We'll explain all that coming up in our last segment of Brewers Warm-Up on the other side of this break here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Vince Cotroneo here for Connect Chiropractic. Get your aches and pains under control and bring back your energy. Whether it's headaches, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, time and repetition is key to staying on the right track. I've been seeing Dr. Alex and his team for 2 years now. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. Connect Chiropractic uses a special tool that is targeted and effective, yet pain-free and gentle. In Delafield and Wauwatosa, and the new location on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. Get started at GoConnectChiro.com.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Summer is finally here. We're outside and maybe noticing the condition of our old windows. Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors, your local experts in stylish, energy-efficient replacement windows. Boost your curb appeal with top brands like Pella, Anderson, and Marvin, tailored to fit your home, your style, and your budget. Plus, installation by employee carpenters. Wood, vinyl, fiberglass, all on display in their newly remodeled New Berlin showroom. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Visit hometownwindows.com today.
Back to Brewers Warm-Up on WTMJ.
2-1. This is hit well. Deep left center. It is back. It is gone. Andrew Vaughn strikes again. A 2-run blast. And the Brewers lead it 16-4 here in D.C.
Plenty of Brewers fans in the ballpark. Lane Grindle's call from Nationals Park. Brewers win 16-9 technically, but as you heard, it was 16-4 at one point. Let's start with a little on Andrew Vaughn. I almost said Andrew Monasterio there. That's funny. A little Andrew Vaughn talk here. What are the big differences for Andrew Vaughn as a Brewer versus Andrew Vaughn as a White Sox? I can't get any of my words right now. I needed more pocket pancakes. Anyway, the biggest thing that I see when I look under the hood here and try to decide what's going on, let me start with a couple of similarities here that make you suggest the Brewers were on to something. His zone contact rate. Now, that may sound like a really fancy stat. Just keep it simple. How often are you making contact with pitches that are in the strike zone? 59%. That's roughly league average. And it's been exactly the same as a Brewer and as a White Sox. Furthermore, his swing and miss rate. 23% as a White Sox, 22% as a Brewer. Virtually the same. So now you're thinking, okay, his swing decisions are pretty much the same. He's not swinging and missing more or less. He's still making contact on the same pitches in the strike zone. So what gives? Well, let's go to the chase rate. Chase rate has dropped dramatically in his first couple of weeks as a Brewer. 36% initially with the White Sox, which is part of the reason why they sent him down to AAA. Now, as a Brewer, that's down to 23%. And just to give you context, league average for chase rate is 28. So he went from 8 points above league average, worse than league average as a White Sox, to now roughly 5 points better than league average on the chase rate. So understanding the value of a walk, understanding, hey, I don't need to put the offense on my shoulders here. I can get on base and take a couple pitches and understand what works for me. The next thing is the quality of contact. His hard hit rate has jumped by 10 points from 48% to 58%. Again, let's give you the context here. League average is 41%. So he was already a league average, better than league average hard hit rate, making poor swing decisions when it comes to swinging and missing and chasing pitches. But when he made contact, his hard hit rate was still really good. So it's sort of putting him in an environment saying, hey, you can take a walk here, man. Because when you look at some of those lineups for the White Sox and what he was dealing with for trying to be the aircraft carrier, if you will, of Chicago this year, when you're seeing a lot of strikes and you're struggling with, chasing and trying to be overeager and trying to do a little too much, that's when pitchers smell blood in the water. Just to give you an idea here, Andrew Vaughn, the guy that was hitting behind him in the lineup goes like this. There are so many different players that hit behind Andrew Vaughn this year, and I'm not trying to disrespect any of the names I'm about to say, but when you're the focal point of any scouting report, it's hard to hit. Austin Slater, Nick Maton, Matt Theis, Benintendi a game in there. Then you got Edmundo Sosa, Josh Palacios, Michael A. Taylor. You get my point here. They're going to attack you and not worry about the guy behind you. If they get out of your frame, there's no one protecting you in the order. And maybe you say, oh, get more walks. Well, he was chasing pitches and has learned the value of a walk here with the Brewers. And oh, by the way, he hasn't been missing middle pitches and hit another home run yesterday. I mentioned the lineup earlier today with Anthony Siegler in the order. When you look under the hood for Anthony Siegler, I know some folks are like, why not Caleb Durbin? Siegler is now being a true left-handed hitter the rest of the year, and they're going to do a light platoon over there at third for the time being. And you may be thinking, okay, Durbin torches against left-handed pitching, but he's not as great against right-handed pitching, and they're facing a righty today in Jake Irvin. Just to give you the numbers on Durbin, his splits this year against lefties, he's hitting over 300, 324, versus about 80 points less versus righties at 243, which isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination by a rookie in the big leagues. What the Brewers are trying to do is set up Anthony Siegler for success, because when you look at Siegler's splits in the minor leagues, and I understand it's minor league splits, it's a massive difference between the big leagues and the minor leagues. But when Siegler faced righties, he had a 908 OPS in AAA. Now, that has not happened yet in the big leagues, partially playing time, partially figuring out what he's made of. But he's got some hard hits under his belt that he's had nothing to show for. He's got strike zone discipline. You know, if I'm doing like a really way too early, sort of a way out there out of nowhere pick to click, I'm going to go Anthony Siegler today. I think there's something that the Brewers see in there from Anthony Siegler to decide, you know what, give him some more starts against righties while Caleb Durbin can use the time to get some breathers and stay sharp for this Dog Days season. August is the hardest month of the year to play. You ask anybody in baseball. This is the month that you go, we're not that close. We're still so far away from the end, but it helps to be playing as quality baseball as the Brewers are playing right now. Finally, William Contreras, 5-hit game yesterday. I encourage you to go read Kurt Hoag's Gamer yesterday in Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, talking a little bit about how Rhys Hoskins helped him out lately, trying to get him right, get him in the right headspace, because he had that brutal Marlins series and then clicked it into gear. He's now 12 for his last 16 at the plate. William has been on fire, a lot of hard hits. He's batting second in today's order. Up next, it's the On Deck Show, built by Menards, as Lane Grindle and Josh Mauer will take you up the first pitch at 3:05 from Nationals Park. I'll be with you after the game today as well. Our producer's Evan Witalison. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Keep on swinging.
Want your brand to turn heads and win hearts?
Captivate Exhibits can